Second item is campaign financing limits for November 15th, 2014 Vancouver civic election, which is to be moved by Councillor Carr, seconded by Councillor Affleck. And Councillor Carr, to introduce your motion.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor, but I understand that there are speakers to my motion? Yes. Okay.
We do have, of course, we do have speakers to your motion now.
So I did give a brief introduction when I gave notice of motion.
Yeah, right.
2 weeks ago. I prefer to wait. I prefer to have us vote on hearing those speakers.
Okay.
Tomorrow's meeting, and then.
Councillor Carr, would you like to move referral?
I will move referral to tomorrow's committee meeting. Okay.
Seconded by Councillor Ball. Councillor Reimer, did you have a?
Yeah, I have an amendment to that referral motion.
An amendment.
Which I've sent to the clerk, although it's going to have to be a little modified. I would like the entire matter to be referred to the April 30th committee, to hear from speakers, but most importantly, and why the delay is in order to give staff to provide time to provide a memo on 3 items. The alignment, if any, of voluntary measures with recognized best practices in campaign finance regulation. B, whether any other jurisdiction, presumably democracy, has chosen to rely on voluntary measures in lieu of campaign finance regulation and the efficacy of such measures should they exist. And finally, the financial, legal, staffing, and other implications that may result from the use of voluntary measures for an election. I appreciate we've had the motion for 2 weeks. I've done extensive internet research as well as talked to a number of international, national, provincial, and municipal government experts. But I'm guessing the rest of Council hasn't had the benefit of that, so I think it would be useful for us all to be working off the same set of facts. There's also, speaking with the city staff, some fairly significant implications that could result from such a measure, and I think we should be informed by that. Talking to staff, their ability to pull that together for tomorrow was not possible. I would say my intention had actually been only to refer Part 2, because Part A is reiterating the same position that we have stated on 8 separate occasions since March 2010. So that bill comes back to committee on April 28th, which is prior to April 30th. So my advice would be that we actually sever and refer the part about the voluntary measures for a couple of weeks so we can get more information. I don't think we need to hear from speakers to pass a motion we've passed 8 times before to ask the minister one more time to consider our request for campaign finance rules. But I'm happy to see it all referred as well.
Okay, so Councillor Reimer, your amendment is to sever the motions.
Vote on the
first urgent matter, which is A, so that that can be conveyed prior to the BC Legislature considering the matter again, and that B is referred to April 30th.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. We may need some language in the referral that's on screen just to indicate Part 1. Councillor Stevenson?
Just occurred to me now, and I might be wrong on this, but if we sever that and we have the first portion, since this has already come and been voted on 8 times and has been passed, is it necessary to vote again? Is that not?
Well, it's a good point. It would be redundant, but given the matter is before the legislature, I don't think it does us harm to once again voice our concerns on this item. Given that there's a package motion here, I'm willing to entertain that as a next step. But I think I agree in terms of speakers. This is an item we've had before Council before eight times, as Councillor Reimer clarified. So just in terms of the referral motion, Councillor Reimer, do you want to just clarify Part A, Part B, so we're clear?
Yeah, well, I'm sorry, and it's a bit awkward. I mean, given the urgency of the matter, we really should have dealt with the Part A. It's challenging when there's urgent business mixed in with not so urgent business, but given the urgency, I strongly suggest that we take some action related to A today, which is the reiteration of a consistently held and articulated position. As I think Councillor Stevenson's pointed out, Mayor Robertson, I think you are well with any one of us could write a letter on the issue because we have standing policy on it. So if Councillor Carr was amenable to that, perhaps we could just vote on A, get it off the table, and then deal with the voluntary measures proposal that she has put on the floor.
Okay. Councillor Carr, are you amenable to voting on A, debating and voting on A today, and and we can consider the referral step with B as a separate?
There's a timeliness about voting on A today, so I think the severing makes sense, and I'm certainly supportive of providing us with more information to make the decision as well.
Okay. So why don't we vote on A? Councillor Carr has moved A. And any debate on A? All those in favor of A? Any opposed? That carries unanimously. And we'll go to the amendment Q with Councillor Reimer's referral motion. Any further debate on that? Okay. All those in favor? Any opposed? And that carries unanimously as well. Okay. So we have completed motion on notice number 2, and we'll see the second part of that coming back to us in 2 weeks. Thanks for that cooperative approach, Council.